I definitely have shiny object syndrome when it comes to threads. I almost always will hop on a new app and kind of poke around, maybe be interested for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, but inevitably it's really hard for me to stay consistent and to show up consistently because let's just face it, social media is hard. And when you do it for a business, for your business, there can be a lot of baggage, a lot of expectation. I know that I often feel like I need to show up, and that's not really the best place to operate from. But what I've found with Threads, if you don't know anything about Threads, it's a new social app by Meta. And the way that you sign up through it is sometimes like actually through the Instagram app. They'll like push a notification and it'll tell you to download and it links your Instagram and your Threads account together. So it's very easy for Instagram followers to go over to Threads. And if you're on Threads, to find people on Instagram. And Threads is basically Twitter, but kind of a little bit different. I honestly haven't been on Twitter in a very long time, but I had jumped on it when it first came out back in like, I don't know, like 2007, 2008. Sometime around then, and it's been really a breath of fresh air because I feel like there's less pressure. I have an opportunity to type. I don't need to have that added pressure of like, is this picture really nice? Because I'm not always great about having the best aesthetic. Some people, they just do such a great job of having everything be the same, like branded colors and font. And even though I have a South Node in Virgo and I have a stellium in Capricorn, I just can't do it. I just, it just requires a little bit too much discipline in an aesthetic way. Maybe if I had a placement in like Taurus or Libra, I would be more aesthetically inclined, but really I'm all about utility and practicality, which is why I've really been enjoying Threads. And I think astrology is one of those fun things when it comes to like when you are ready to receive the information, you'll receive it and you will see it. And I was thinking about, oh, like, what am I going to post on Threads? Or like every time I get a notification, like someone's following me or replying to me, I'll hop back on the app and I'll be like, oh, like, let me like write a couple new things. And I think one of the reasons why I really enjoy Threads is because my Venus is in Gemini. Now, Venus is the planet of love, of romance, and also money, beauty, and art. It's really gives insights to how you relate, experience pleasure, your desires, your passions, like what you value, but also how you relate to others, how you attract others, and how you socialize, kind of like how you move through the world, how you relate to others. And my Venus is in Gemini. So I relate to others through ideas, through speaking, through like, it's very cerebral. And I love like giving advice. I love, oh, someone's like, oh, like I've never been to Michigan. I'm like, oh, okay, I went to Michigan last month. These are all the things that I did. And I just love writing. I love writing the Instagram captions. I really enjoy the email newsletter. And it just clicked for me today. I was like, oh, that's why I really enjoy Threads. This is to say, if you've been feeling a bit blocked in how you run your business or how you operate at work, you constantly feel like you're comparing yourself like, oh, this person like writes amazing LinkedIn posts or articles, or this person's so great at public speaking, or this person's really great at, gathering people together for like meetings, brainstorming sessions, whatever it may be. I invite you to look at your Venus placement. And that I believe will give you a better idea of like your way of relating to others and how you can really show up. Now, Mars is the planet of action, but Venus, it is obviously like Mars and Venus, like very complementary to one another of how we do things, how we operate. And when you really want to tap into the divine feminine, I invite you to look at your Venus placement and to really be exploratory, be curious about how you can embody some of those characteristics. And so for myself, I am asking myself, okay, my Venus is in Gemini. How can I share more of my thoughts, my ideas through like speaking, because I love speaking and hosting workshops, whether it's digitally or in person, or writing. So these are both very much so Gemini characteristics, ways of doing things, to be speaking, to be very chatty, but also really great at writing. So look at your placement. You can find your placement by looking at your free career astrology report. I have your free report, those couple of paragraphs at the beginning before you see the chart, the table, and the circular chart. And there's this one line that's like, oh, like I like relate to these types of people, or I naturally gravitate toward these types of people. That is your Venus placement, because your Venus placement is also a really good placement to give you insights of like how, like the types of people you best connect with. And it makes a lot of sense that I've also dated a lot of Geminis, and I'm currently dating a Gemini as well. Venus placement. I think that probably a lot of you might have some questions around like love as well. So I think it'd be fun to change things up. And I'll do an episode for next week around like love and like the best types of connections for you. And honestly, these placements will be good for romantic, but also friendships as well. It really gives you more understanding of the types of people you need to surround yourself with, not just romantically, but really friendship wise, professional wise as well. So you can look at it from both lenses. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know your questions. I'm always happy to learn, to understand which episodes, which topics really were interesting to you and what questions you have. And this will really help me kind of build out my content, whether it's a podcast, an Instagram post, a TikTok, or a Threads post. So please let me know. And if you could share your Saturn.com with someone in your life who needs some more career insights, I'd be so, so, so appreciative. Okay, until next time.